Hey, you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, I wanted to share with you guys, why the narcissist is considered sadistic, right? So, to those who don't know what, the meaning of sadistic, or someone who is sadistic, who has a sadistic personality, it doesn't necessarily have to be narcissism or psychopath. You could be simply sadistic by, putting yourself in a position where you're humiliating other people. You're getting off on inflicting pain and suffering from others, right? That's basically what being sadistic is. So you can inflict pain on others, and it could be something so small. It can start by, you're out with friends and someone falls on the floor, or someone gets hurt, or someone gets in a physical fist fight, and you have people standing around taking pictures or recording or laughing at that person that fell down, and you get this tickle inside of you where you kind of find it amusing. So that can be a form of being sadistic, is that you're making fun of someone that is suffering, someone who's in pain. You're humiliating them. You're finding humor in someone going through something that's embarrassing, something that, to them, they don't feel good about it. So a lot of narcissists, they see that other people have, a sense of being sadistic, but to them, it's a competition with them. They feel as if I'm going to get you before you get me. I'm going to do it to you in the worst way because I know that you have it in you. You're not developed. You're not quite smart enough like me, because the narcissist believes that they're more highly intelligent than other people, although the narcissist will tell on themselves and they'll give themselves up only because of their own arrogance. Not only their arrogance, but their anger, their uncontrollable anger, and their need to be right, and their need to be in power. And this is why you come across those narcissists that you've never done anything to, but yet they're preying on you because they're seeing that you're someone with empathy. So they're like, you're weak. So they have to put themselves in a pedestal, even if, you have nothing to do with them. So if they feel like, making you look bad is going to make them and their family look good, they're willing to take that step to stay on top. Narcissists will embarrass you in front of, people. Narcissists will, you can go on a date with them and go out to dinner with them, and all of a sudden they want to pick a fight with you in front of strangers or in front of people that you don't know, or, you go on vacation and they find those reasons to bring their sadistic behavior out, when it's a holiday, something important to you, because they look at people like characters. A narcissist, they get off on other people's pain. They get off on you crying. They get off on inflicting pain on others. And a lot of times, you'll hear people say that we all have, a certain type of, narcissistic traits to us, basically. And, some more than others. You run across narcissists, psychopaths, that just have no remorse at all. They don't have a limit. It gets worse and worse and worse. If you notice, this is why some narcissists commit really heinous crimes, because they're trying to stop themselves from taking their sadistic behaviors of inflicting pain on others. They're trying to deprive themselves from committing such act because they know they can get to that point. They can get to that point where they can be a serial killer, but they choose to domesticate themselves almost. So, as many of you guys know, a lot of us are domesticated, right? We have a certain way that we run this world, depending especially on where you're located or where you live. you're domesticated by culture, by, just having a sense of morality, morals, and the way you do things. We're all domesticated in some way. We're programmed to all behave in a certain manner. We're taught that certain things in life we shouldn't do. We're taught that certain things are bad and certain things are good. And if you start to fall more in that spectrum where you're doing a lot of bad things or you're making bad choices, you're automatically looked at as a bad person by society, when sometimes you don't really have the choice but to commit some of these acts that you might not be proud of, or you're basically stepping out of that line, that domesticated line, because you're curious. You're curious, you want to know more, or you want to sometimes experience, things for yourself, and when you cross that line, what a lot of people don't know is that when you cross that line into the wild side, basically, you become darker and darker. The more sin, the more acts you commit, the more deviant you become, the more hateful you become towards others, the bigger the crime can get, right? So it can start small. These sadistic behaviors can start very small and they can gradually grow. And I actually was thinking to myself, how as human beings we're domesticated, and how, I was just, I had this epiphany how we have all of these animals, like in, places like zoos, and we have built communities so that we can all be protected from these wild animals. And yet a lot of us eat these type of animals, right? We slaughter them, right? But we don't walk around living in the jungle. We don't walk around living in the jungle. We don't use a lot of our power, or a lot of our survival instincts. We don't use them. We don't use our senses even. If you notice, you have people that aren't aware of narcissism, or they're not aware of the type of bad world that we live in. They go to the grocery stores, or they walk around, they go places, and they're not really thinking how deviant, how demonic someone can be, how sadistic someone can be. And you're running across these sadistic people every day. You're just not, you're just in your own bubble, in your own world, that you're not really paying attention, or you're, you feel like you're safe because you're in this community, right? You're in a community, and then you have police and other people who are supposed to protect you. But what happens when, as human beings, we have all this sadistic or narcissism in us, different levels of it. And what happens when, you're hurting, or you're in pain, or or you feel like you're different from everyone, or you feel like you're using your senses more than others, and you're waking up to how you're domesticated as a society, right? It can drive someone crazy. It can drive the narcissist, in your life crazy, because they start to view the world and people as being stupid, being dumb. This is why they like to break rules, because they feel like they're not domesticated. They're not, they're not someone that you can control. If anything, they want the control, right? And this could be a scary thing because, a lot of narcissists do regular things. This could be your neighbor. This could be anyone. They do regular things, and they keep their sadistic ways a secret. So when you think about someone who is not domesticated any longer, you think about someone who has been through a lot of pain. And this person has been in so much pain, Even though it seems like narcissists, they're not in pain because they treat others bad, but you have to really think about it. These people are in pain, and sometimes you might think like this person really didn't go through anything, but to them, what they went through, even if it's small, it's greater than what you feel. Because when they go through things, they only think about themselves, right? The narcissist will cry, the narcissist will do certain things, but it's only because they only care about themselves. They don't care about you. They're only thinking about their survival, their well-being. They're not thinking about you. And when someone is in that mindset, in that sadistic mindset, they're basically in a mindset where, they feel like they've been targeted. They feel like they're living a life that they're not supposed to live. They feel like that hunter in them, that hunter in them, it's on full effect. And because we live in a world that's, domesticated. We're not out here hunting animals and preying on animals and living on survival. We're not living on survival, but the narcissist lives on survival. You have to think about that. The narcissist lives on survival. And because you're not living in that world where you feel like you have to survive because almost everything is given to you. You go to the grocery store, you get your gallon of milk. You don't live like an animal, but us as human beings, we're a whole nother species. We're a whole nother species. We're a whole nother type of breed. And it's in us to be able to defend ourselves. If someone is trying to kill us or hurt us, and we're trying to survive, that beast, that animal in us, that savage animal in us can come out in order to defend ourselves. It's like being bullied and bullied. Eventually, you're not going to want to be bullied, and that inner self, that savage self, that sadistic self will come out, that predator self will come out to defend, will come out in order to defend oneself, right? Will come out in order to defend oneself, right? And the narcissist has lived on that predator survival mode for so long that they don't care like who they need to step on to get to where they need to get to, because they feel like, you're not hungry enough. They're numb to other people's emotions and feelings because they feel like other people's emotions and feelings don't really matter. They feel like your feelings, your emotions are fake. They feel like you're a fake person. They feel like you're dumb. They feel like you don't know anything about life. You don't know anything about surviving. They feel like you're not using your senses, that you're ignoring the fact that they're a sadistic person. And that's what makes them hate you even more, because they're like, you don't get how sadistic I am. Oh, you think this is a joke? Oh, you're laughing. I'm telling you, I'm going to torture you. I'm going to do all these things to you. I'm going to tie you up with rope. And you think this is a sick, fantasy of mine, right? You think this is a joke. You think this is, some type of role play. You think this is some type of role play. You think this is like some type of BDSM, you like to get tortured. You want to get tortured because I'll torture you. I will torture you. And it becomes a game. It becomes a real game for the narcissist. And a lot of people, get off on this. They think it's a role play. They think it's a real, some people, claim that this is something that they sexually desire and they're just playing around and they're giving each other secret codes. But the narcissist is they're a true sadist. So that role play, they will make it a reality, and they don't have an on and off switch. Once, they're there. This is why, you'll have moments where the narcissist will tell you, you need to get away from them. They'll push you, they'll shove you, they'll try to leave. You'll beg them to stay. They'll push you because they really want to hurt you, and you think it's a joke, and you're, sometimes even trying to be sexual with them and trying to calm them down, and they're like, I'm ready to hurt you. And they'll tell you that they hate you. They'll tell you that they've been using you. They'll tell you how they really feel about you in those moments. And, then they'll love bomb you. And then when they're ready to abuse you again, they'll tell you, last time, I told you this last time I was ready to kill you, that I'm not playing. And this goes for men too, because when a narcissist woman, she knows exactly what she's doing. And when you're trying to get angry with her, or you're resenting her for treating you the way you're treating her, she's willing to call the police on you. She's willing to do stuff to you and make it seem like she's a complete victim in everything. She's a complete victim for using you, taking you for your money, and taking you for a spin. Then you'll be, at court with them, and they have a little smirk on their face the whole time, because the judge is like, why didn't you leave them? Why did you give so much of yourself to this person? They told you who they were. These type of people, they basically feed off your fears. They like to inflict pain. They like to see, how your personality changes the more you find out, or the more you figure out that they really don't feel anything at all. And the thing about the narcissist is that they're empty inside. They don't feel anything. They feel as if any empathy that they ever had, it's gone. It's kind of like when you're being hurt by a narcissist and you feel numb and you feel like empty inside because someone just hurt you. And sometimes you feel like even dying, right? You might feel really depressed to the point where you're feeling as if I'd rather be dead. I don't know. I don't have anything else. It's almost like you feel like you're sacrificing yourself. The narcissist gets off on that because they're looking at you like a slave, like you're meant to be tortured even more. So you can be literally feeling like you're going to die. And the narcissist, they're like, okay, I'll kill you. I'll torture you. You should just do it. The narcissist attitude, it's like, you should just do it. So you're automatically putting yourself in a position when you're depressed and you're sad, you're putting yourself in a position where you're bowing down to the narcissist, and you're basically saying to this narcissist, I'm your slave. I don't have anything else to give, so just torture me. I'm okay with you torturing me. I'm okay with you just killing me off. And it's more than a role play. It's more than BDSM. It's more than, it's reality. They really get off on the pain that you're feeling. So just as you want to be, you claim that you don't want to be in this pain, right? You claim that you don't like it. You don't want to be in this pain. But sometimes when you're going back to this type of sadistic person that doesn't feel anything, that's actually getting off on your pain, what you're doing is you're basically saying, I'll be your slave. Anything to be with you. You can torture me. I don't have anything else. I don't have anyone. No one loves me. I don't love myself. I love you. I love you. You're my God. You can control me. So the narcissist looks at it like, if you want me to keep torturing you because I don't feel anything, you don't feel anything, you're sad. So you're telling me you're sad. You're telling me that you're empty inside because I won't love you. So in order for, if you want me to love you, you're going to have to allow me to love you the only way that I know how to love. And this is how I love. I torture because they're empty too. So to them, it's like, okay, this is an exchange at this point. It's an exchange. You're empty. I'm empty. And you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to understand, why someone is doing that to you, and you're feeling empty inside as well. You're feeling, you're feeling empty. You're feeling like, you have nothing inside of you anymore to give, because you've given so much of yourself to many people that never had empathy for you. And, the narcissist is kind of like, I can relate to you. I can relate to your pain. This is why it's this very diabolical relationship, because they're looking at you like, I can relate to that pain that you feel. I have that pain too. I feel that pain too. That's how I feel every day. That's how I feel. I feel that pain. I feel like I'm being tortured. I feel like I have this animalistic, diabolical, sadistic personality that I just can't control. I'm this nasty monster, this beast that just, I'm uncontrollable when I get to this point. I'm uncontrollable. And when I get to this point where I'm constantly being reminded of my pain, I have to torture someone, because I don't have enough courage in me to just kill myself. So the narcissist, they won't want to kill themselves. They're in pain. This is why when you think about narcissists and you're like, oh, they don't understand pain. They know all about pain. It's just they don't care about your pain, because to them it's like, now you know how I feel. I'm in so much pain. But if you really pay attention, anytime a narcissist commits a crime, they'll kill the whole family sometimes, but they won't kill themselves. They won't kill themselves. They'll kill the whole family. They'll kill the whole church. They'll kill everyone in the movie theater. They'll get to that point, where they'll torture other people, but then they won't commit suicide, or they'll go to jail. And, when they're in jail, they're like, oh, give me a life sentence. I don't want to die. I rather, I don't want, but at the same time, they don't want to do the life sentence, because they feel like that's torture too, because they feel like I have to live like this, and I have to, I'm not going to be capable of doing what I normally do, which is whatever I want to do and treat people however I want to treat them. I'm going to live by someone else's rules. It's disgusting to them. And sometimes the thought of being controlled for the rest of their life is what makes them commit suicide. So you won't really see narcissists commit suicide. Although their victims, will commit suicide, you won't see them do it. And if they do, it's only because they do not want to pay for the consequences and be tamed. These are people that cannot be tamed. They're out of control. Once you cross a narcissist, and this could be in any kind of way, because, you're a normal person with feelings. You can feel for other people, although you're in pain, right? You have empathy. That's what narcissists don't have. They don't have any empathy. So when that animalistic instinct, that animalistic survival instinct, kicks in, they're ready to hurt someone, because there's no empathy. There's no line that tells them that they shouldn't cross this line, and with a lot of empaths, they can feel, empaths can feel, just as hurt as the narcissist, but there's still that empathy there. And that empathy is what allows you not to do what they do that's so sadistic. That's the empathy. That's what literally keeps you in a state of mind where you're also being tortured by this pain that you feel. Just like the narcissist is in pain, you're in pain. That's what makes you guys, usually relate to each other. This is how you end up with narcissists, through pain. So it becomes a game. And once you know their game, once you know how they are, they don't get off on it anymore. Because once they see that you're not crying anymore, once they see that, you're starting to realize, what type of monster they are, basically, and just how animalistic they are, it literally turns them off, because they're like, I need someone who I can continuously inflict pain on. So, when they get with the new supply or someone else, chances are that person is chasing after them. That person knows about you, but they're in a competition with you. And this person is, just going out of their way for the narcissist. They're calling them and blowing them up, and they're literally on their hands and knees for the narcissist. They're like, I'll do anything for you. And they just do not know that they're literally going to get this rude awakening once the narcissist gets with them, because it's a game from the start. The narcissist is like, this is a game. Do you guys not understand that this is a game to me? Do you guys not understand that there's levels to this? There's levels. You guys don't get that? You guys don't get it, right? You guys don't understand how I feel, because it's all about how the narcissist feels. And they feel tortured every day. They feel as if they're far from being domesticated. They feel like they're living in their true nature. And like I said in the beginning, I do believe that human beings, we have an animalistic nature. And I do believe that we're domesticated. And I do believe that we can all be, somewhat like the narcissist. And there's different levels of it. The narcissist is just someone who, they've been on survival mode for a very long time. And once you're on that type of level, there's no going back. And that's what the narcissist hates about other people that are domesticated, is that they feel like, don't you understand that I'm never going to change for anyone? Don't you understand that, I hate you because, I can never be or live or think like you or have, the type of empathy that you have. And don't you understand that I don't even really want to be like this? I just can't help it, and, once they turn into a monster, they can't stop. They can't stop the abuse. It makes them feel good. It makes them laugh inside. It gives them this, it's like a drug. It's like a drug. And after that high, after they abuse you, that high goes down. Like after they abuse you, it's like eating an animal. It's like hunting an animal. And once you have, fueled your supply, you've cooked this animal, you've ate this animal, now your belly's full. The narcissist looks at people the same way. They're like, okay, well, I'm full, I'm satisfied now. And this is why you'll see that after they have abused you, sometimes they even want to have sex with you. It's like, okay, I'll have sex and just act like none of that just happened. I know I nearly killed you, or I nearly knocked you off the road, or, almost made you crash or whatever. But, that's just how I am. You said the wrong thing to me. You said the wrong thing to me. Don't you know that I'm always in pain? Any little thing you say to me, it's like an insult to me. Any little thing that you say to me that is going to bother me, to you, it might be something small, but to me, it's big, because I'm a ticking time bomb. Half the time when I'm being quiet and I'm acting normal and I'm being charismatic to people, I'm being fake. When you see the narcissist being charismatic, they're being fake. And it's so easy to fall in love with these people because they're so good at pretending to be charismatic. You know why? Because their level of charismatic it's on a whole nother level than most people. Like, they seem more happy than the normal type of person. The normal type of person is like, okay, I'm happy with my life. And the narcissist they're playing a role. So to them, it's like, no, I'm not just happy. I'm super happy with my life. I'm not just happy. I have the best life ever. Everything is going my way. I live a fabulous life. And to them, it's like, I know that my charismatic character is going to make others envy me. It's going to make others want to be me. It's going to make others worship me or like me and make me feel like I'm in power. I'm in control. So, when you're dealing with someone who's sadistic, someone who might have a personality disorder, and they're, and I wouldn't even call it a personality disorder. It's someone who's living on survival, only that they're hunting the wrong people. But in the narcissist's mind, they feel as if they don't do the hunting, they will get hunted, because to them, it's all about respect. It's about respect and control. They're hunting on innocent people. They're using their power to control others through their abuse. And that's the only way they feel they can get that feeling that they have inside of literally dying. They feel like that's the only thing that fulfills them. So to us, it's not normal. It's like, how can you be fulfilled by hurting someone? That doesn't make sense. But because there's no empathy, they don't have any connectors in their brain that have empathy. They don't have that. They're strictly on survival mode. They're strictly on the addiction of hurting others, love, drugs, sex. That's all they think about. That's all they care about. It's the control and the, being able to humiliate someone through, sex or drugs or whatever, however they can control, that person. So, a lot of times, we'll find it that we ourselves can be sadistic in a way. And when we're allowing the narcissist to abuse us in some type of way, it's kind of like the narcissist is looking at it like, well, you like the abuse. You're sadistic too. Stop playing stupid with me. You like it. You like that I'm abusing you. So this is why this type of relationship is toxic, because they don't see the empathy that you're trying to show them. No matter how good you are, how nice you are, they don't see that. They just see someone who is trying to hide who they really are. And they feel as if you had the opportunity to switch the tables on them, you would treat them the same way. So they might as well just abuse you because you don't know any better. And that's just how they look at things. So when you think that this person, is going to be happy or they're going to treat someone else different, you can't possibly believe that, because someone who feels this much anger, bitterness inside of them, that's, has so much anger that they're willing to hurt innocent people because they're just too coward to hurt themselves, and they won't admit it. But they secretly don't want to be here. They hate this world. They hate this world, especially if things aren't going their way. When things are going their way, that's when they're looking at you like, hey, you're just jealous of me. You're mad because everything's going my way. Look at me, I'm happy. You're mad because I'm happy. And they're getting off on making you even more sad when they're doing that. But when things aren't going their way, they'll even come back for you. I mean, this is why you'll hear stories of like exes or ex-husbands or ex-wives coming back to torture someone that they're not even with just because they know you're happy. because whatever happened with their new supply went wrong. Something happened. The new supply, put them in a bad situation. They weren't that much of a good supply like they thought they would be. They were enjoying torturing them until one day that new supply, caught the police on them or did something, to basically cause narcissistic injury. And now they're out looking for revenge from everyone. They feel like you owe them something. They feel like everyone owes them something. They feel like every single person that tried to, talk against them deserves to be tortured at this point. That's how they feel. They feel like, they want to hurt everyone, and they feel like they're not going to feel better inside until they're able to finally put an end to you. And a lot of them are cowardly, they're cowards. They don't want, some of them, they know they don't want to be behind bars. And I feel like a lot of times that's what a lot of narcissists think to themselves. They don't like to be tamed. So I do believe that a lot of these narcissists, especially the ones that get physically abusive with you, or they break up with you and you won't hear from them again, sometimes the reason that you won't hear from them is because they know if they stick around with you, they might kill you. They're like, she thinks I'm playing with her. I done smacked her around. If I love bomb her and, make her believe that I like her, I like that look in her eyes when she thinks I love her, because she's so dumb. She doesn't know I'm ready to torture her again. So when they know that when they get to the torturing part, they're like basically going to pick up where they left off. They're like, last time I did this to you, now I have to do something crazier than that. So when they get to the point where they know that they might just cross that level, or they might end up behind bars, or they might hurt you, to them it's like, you're not even worth it. And they'll tell you, they'll tell you you're not worth it. You're not even worth killing. They'll say some crazy crap to you. So pay attention when you're dealing with someone who is sadistic, you guys. These people, they don't love, do not feel bad for yourself. Do not feel bad, because they've moved on and they're pretending that they're happy. It's all part of the game. The game doesn't stop just because they're not with you. It's still a game. They're like, when you're not hearing back from them, you're thinking, oh, they never apologized. They never gave me closure. They're getting off on not giving you closure. That's giving them supply right there, because they know they didn't give you closure. And when they see that, they're keeping tabs on you behind your back, and they see that you're not moving on, to them, they're still getting off on it. It's like a high. They're still getting off on it. They're getting off on the thought that they destroyed you. And a lot of times they're waiting on you to contact them. They're waiting on you to contact them. And when you don't contact them, even if they're not around, you better and they've moved on, you better believe that they're angry. You better believe that they're mad that you never went back for them, that they feel insulted. Like, how dare you? I didn't want you anyway. How dare you? That's why when you're sad or you're upset or you're crying, they're getting off on it. But when you start showing that lack of emotion and, you don't care about the closure, that upsets them. And that upsets them to the point where the abuse has to be transferred to someone else. And it's always going to be the new supply. I mean, the narcissist already knows that they're going to abuse this person. But to them, it's like, oh, now you're really going to, they're looking at the new supply like, oh, you're really going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for what everyone's done to me. You're going to have to pay for the last supply, because they never came back looking for me. I know they were expecting me to hoover them, but how could they just move on with their life and start a family? Or how could they just move on and get their life back together? You're going to have to pay for it. And I know it doesn't make sense. It's like, what sense does that make? Because we're domesticated people. We have morals. We have an order of doing things, things that make sense to us. But because they don't have any empathy, that part of their brain with empathy, it's gone. If they ever had any, it's gone. There's nothing there. And they hate that. They hate themselves for that. This is why they study. Just like you study narcissists, they study you too. They know that you're going to be, they know what, as an empath, they already know what signs you're looking for to see if they're really a bad person. This is why they have something to prove to you in the beginning. For as long as they can hold up that act, they will, because they're like, I know you're trying to figure me out. You're trying to see if I'm a psycho, basically. So they already know you're an empath, and they're studying you too. And they're stealing all of your information, everything that you know. They're studying you too. They know what you're going to do or what you're going to say. They know how you feel about certain things. They know how you feel about them and their behavior. They know how it's going to, they study you. They study you just like you study narcissists. They study you right back. And they can even tell you about yourself. They can relate to you. They can relate to you. And it makes you even, find them charismatic. Like I said, you'll kind of feel like, this person's a little narcissistic, but I like them. They're cool. They're charismatic. At this point, a lot of narcissists are exposing themselves. They're like, what's the point on hiding it at this point? So if someone is showing you signs or they're giving you the heads up, why would you think that this person is charismatic and they're showing you who they are? They're basically telling you, hey, when I finally, turn the switch on you, don't feel insulted, because you should already know better. So be careful, you guys. Be careful with reuniting with these type of people, whether they're people from your past or relationships or friendships, partners, family, whatever, coworkers. These people are very, very dangerous. You see those signs in someone that you work with or anything, be careful. These people will follow you home. These people will intentionally try to cause you harm. So a lot of people label people who are sadistic as more of a, a lot of people that talk about sadism or whatever try to connect these things with BDSM and role play, and I don't really want to hurt you. It's just a role play. It's not a role play to a narcissist. It's real life. Like, they really like that. Like, they really, they like that you think it's a joke. That's what makes it more funny to them. They're like, oh, you think this is a joke? It's about to turn into a horror movie in a second, Oh, you still think it's a joke. Okay. Oh, you want me back? You want to be with me still? Oh, you think it's a joke. You really think I loved you? You really think I care? Welcome to the real world. Wake up, So I hope that this video was helpful for your healing, and for any of you that, kind of need to understand the nature of a narcissist and just how they think, how they, how they view the world, how they feel. They feel, they just do not feel for you. They do not feel for anyone. They feel for themselves. They feel like they're the ones being tortured. They feel like you're messing with them. As long as you keep being around them, they're like, you're messing with me, So, I'm sending you guys lots of love. If you guys have not subscribed, Please subscribe, like this video, comment, share your thoughts if you care. I'm sending you guys lots of love, lots of light, and lots of peace, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.